One of the most important muscle groups for a hairdresser to stretch is the chest. Now, despite the pain usually being on the upper back in between the shoulder blades, the culprit is normally on the front with the chest. So what typically happens is the chest tightens and pulls the shoulder blades away from the spine. And these muscle groups here get lengthened and they get aggravated. To solve this challenge, perform the following chest stretching exercises. The first of which is a bent arm chest stretch. Using a vertical support of this nature, you'll be able to find something like this at home. You're going to start with the upper arm at shoulder height. Now, I will say this, before you get into your chest stretching, make sure that you perform some light neck and forearm stretching as well to free the nerves. So we've got multiple options with this particular stretch. We can go upper arm at shoulder height, we can then go upper arm above, and we can go upper arm slightly below. Don't have to go too low, but just slightly below. Now for these, to progress your intensity, all you have to do is simply step your feet away. So as Renee is doing right now, she's stepping her feet away to progress the intensity of the stretch in the chest. For this particular stretch, perform 3 to 4 10-second repeats on your tighter side and 2 to 3 repeats on your looser side. Make sure you are stretching your tighter side more than your looser side. Okay, next we're going into a straight arm stretch. So you're going to place your palm on the wall with a nice straight arm. The palm is flat. Now, with this particular stretch, you need to make sure you go to the appropriate level for you, because as Renee is doing it right now, there's a bit of a hard angle at the wrist, and a lot of people can't go straight into that. But what this stretch does, it gives a fantastic stretch all the way through the forearm, into the bicep, into the shoulder, and into the chest. So if you're feeling like this particular position is too harsh to start with, you can find a lesser angle by taking the arm back behind the body to take that pressure or stretch intensity off the wrist. As well as this particular angle, which is more so at shoulder height, we can then play around with slightly below shoulder and above shoulder as well as options. So the other variation or variable that you want to consider is spreading the fingers apart with the palm flat on the wall, which will give the hand a nice stretch as well. As we know in hairdressing, the hands get locked up pretty badly. So just consider that as long as it's comfortable enough for you to do so. So for this stretch, we're going to use the same volume as the last stretch with 3 to 4 repeats, 10-second holds on your tighter side, and 2 to 3 repeats of 10-second holds on your looser side. Remember, you're stretching your tighter side more than your looser side. The final stretch is one of my personal favorites. You're going to find a bench, you're going to lay down, and you're going to grab some sort of weight that is going to hold your hands down. So you see Renee is holding on to a couple of 2-kilo dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, you can find something that you can do the same job with. Make sure that the hand is weighed down to the ground and the arms aren't up in the air, because if they're up in the air, your chest is not relaxing, it's contracting. So make sure your hands are on the ground. Now, with this stretch, we can play with multiple angles. To start with, we start with a nice easy angle with the arm in a lower position. Generally, most people can find a comfortable position in this lower angle. From here, once that relaxes and loosens off, we can then start to play with the higher angles. Do not rush to go into these. Make sure you're ready to do so. So start nice and comfortable. Now, while I'm talking about that, the height of the bench is another variable. This is a typical sort of gym bench. This can be too tall for a lot of people to start with. So if this is too intense, find a smaller bench to start with. For this exercise, perform 3 to 4 repeats of 1 to 3 minute holds and just rest for about 20 to 30 seconds between each of those holds. Perform this session twice a week with at least 2 to 3 days in between. Remember, like I said earlier, perform a little bit of light neck and light forearm stretching before you get into the chest stretches that you've been shown here. The key with stretching is to stay comfortable yet be progressive. When you don't feel a stretch anymore, just intensify it a little bit at a time. You don't have to go too crazy with that. All of these exercises are fantastic, but stretching is only one piece of the puzzle. we cover the whole body holistically in our 12-week program.